always be willing to go good for great.
Yeah.
Always be willing to change and pivot. I always knew I wanted to be a software engineer, but I didn't believe I could do it until I saw somebody who liked me who was doing it.
Yeah, that representation.
Everything. And so the first person I saw was in my late 20s, a guy by the name of Aston Motes. You know, Aston Mote was employee #1 at Dropbox.
Whoa.
You, by yourself right now, have enough data from your YouTube, from the blogs, anything you're reading, to create an AI version of yourself. What do you do with that?
Yo, so we are here at the Thrive Conference produced by Black Men in Tech. And the guest that we have today, of course, is a Black man that's in tech. But beyond that, he's someone that I actually had the pleasure of meeting last week on a panel with him. And while on that panel, I immediately realized, I was like, yo, this guy knows a lot more stuff than I know, which is a lot of people in tech. But just not just the information he had, but also the way he communicated the information just had me so incredibly blown away. I was like, yo, I want to talk to this guy for like 5, 6, 7 hours. But of course, we don't have the time for that. But luckily enough, we were able to make this time at the Thrive Conference to have him on the Tech is New Black podcast. So that way you all can learn about him as well as what he's doing in the AI space with his own AI company and a variety of other things as well. But as always, give a round of applause if you're driving in your car, tap your steering wheel so you don't crash, for your Tech is New Black guest, Marlon Avery. Marlon, thank you for being on Tech is New.
Appreciate you having me, man.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, man, so look, we're gonna get into it. So your tech career started, I know, and this actually blew me away because, you know, you can tell there are people that know things, and then there are people that know things on such a level of like depth and granularity that they communicate, the way they communicate it, you can tell the difference. You can tell the difference between someone who just learned something
right.
versus someone that's like really knows it.
Right.
The way that you communicate, like just tech or AI, just information, I was thinking, oh, this guy's been in the industry clearly for like 25 years or something or whatever. I was on your LinkedIn and I was like, yo, as far as I could tell, like you got the industry around like 2016.
Yeah.
And so I was like, how in the world does this guy know all of these things between 2016 to now? So I'm gonna go ahead and just read the question like I have it. So you've been in the industry since 2016, but your knowledge seems 20 years deep. What have you done like to amass so much knowledge and respect in such a short amount of time?
Yeah, I found a cheat sheet, which is in any area of my life, I find people who are better than me, who have been doing it longer than me.
Yeah.
And by asking or not asking, they become my mentors.
Yeah.
You know, so I've been able to have the privilege of talking to people like Nick Caldwell, former VP of engineering at Twitter, now just got announced as new CPO of what's the bike company?
Not ByteDance. Oh,
Peloton.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's the new CPO and stuff over there.
Man.
You know, and Nick gave me some valuable information, just like taking risk.
Yeah.
Always be ready to take risks and everything. With the combination of such, you know, my mom had me at 14 years old, and so she did a pivotal moment in our lives where she moved us from Texas to Georgia, you know, and just like started life over.
Yeah.
That moment right there always let me know, always be willing to go good for great.
Yeah.
Always be willing to change and pivot, just like that. And so with the combination of those, I want to go do something, go find something. I found the highest level people who was doing that, DM them, call them, get a referral. Like, I'm not scared to reach out to nobody and everything. So you can be a president of this, you know, owner of that, you know, you're just an individual just like me. And I've consistently done that, you know, without kind of my career, and it's allowed me to fast track.
Yeah, man, that's fire. That's fire. So that makes sense in terms of a career hack. So people are gonna want us to ask this. We need to ask this. So, what exactly did you do initially when you got in the tech industry, just career-wise? And 'cause I know you're an engineer. Like, what kind of engineer? And then also, what are some of the skill sets that you've like amassed or acquired since you've been in the industry?
So funny enough, I started off with UI UX.
Okay. Oh, dang. I didn't know that's crazy.
So I was a big fan of sneakers. So sneakers, Air Jordans, Nikes, LeBron. So I started working on my own app in like 2014, 15. This time, you know, only thing I knew how to do with app was download them, you know, and stuff. And so, but I was like, you know what? I might not know anything about coding, and interesting enough, during that time period in those years, there wasn't a lot of online resources to learn how to code. Everything was still more so in books and stuff. And so I was like, whoa, I can start to teach myself like how things look, feel, things like that. You don't know what you don't know. So the first iteration of the app I created in Microsoft Paint.
Wait, I didn't even know you could do that in Microsoft Paint.
I didn't either, but that's the only thing I knew at the time. So like literally I would like cut things up and everything, kind of paste it together in Microsoft Paint, save it to a file, email it to myself. Had the privilege of meeting a guy from Google, and he was like, oh man, this is interesting. What'd you design this in? I was like, Microsoft Paint. He was like, don't do that no more. He was like, go learn Photoshop immediately, and stuff. And so from there, I started to teach myself that. And then shortly after that, I transitioned everything to teach myself how to code. So the biggest thing of there is I always knew I wanted to be a software engineer, but I didn't believe I could do it until I saw somebody who like me who was doing it.
Yeah, that representation.
Everything. And so the first person I saw was in my late 20s, a guy by the name of Aston Motes. Aston Mote was employee #1 at Dropbox.
Whoa.
And stuff. And so when I saw him, by far one of the most intelligent human beings that I've encountered, they gave me enough energy and courage and stuff to go figure it out. And that process of going to figure it out was I minimized all my bills, lowest possible place you can go, moved into a friend's garage, and I focused on coding for 6 to 8 hours a day for an entire year. And that's how I taught myself.
If you're tuning into this and you're wondering, yo, how do I get a job like that in tech? We've got good news for you because we've just partnered with a tech boot camp called General Assembly that'll help you get a job like this or a variety of others, no matter where you live at in the world. We're talking product management, UX, UI design, programming or development, data science, data analytics, and a variety of others. Use the link in our description, and not only will you be able to do your first class for free, but for those who decide to sign up with the program, you'll get a $200 discount off. Make sure that you let us know which course you chose and keep us posted on your journey in tech. Wow. Bro, what are some of the, just out of curiosity, what are some of the coding languages or preferred coding languages?
Yeah, so I started off initially, with Swift, because I was about building the app and everything. But immediately I transitioned to JavaScript and everything. Okay. So from there, everything became front end. So JavaScript, React, there's a React Native and everything. I took a step back. I took a Harvard CS50, as well, where they teach you C, build the Python, things like that. And so, but the prominent language was JavaScript.
All right, so AI Impact, your company is revolutionizing the way businesses harness the power of artificial intelligence to drive growth and innovation. Your mission, or the mission of AI Impact, is to enable companies to seamlessly integrate AI into their operations to comprehensive training programs, cutting edge to development. And some of the things that I was looking through that AI Impact does, I see that it does tailored artificial intelligence training, provides cutting edge AI tools, and helps with strategic consulting. What I want to know is, can you expound on some of the features of AI Impact? And also if you can break down why companies need these services to remain competitive in the market.
Yeah. For example, one of the things that we're building right now for a neurologist, his office, they get about 3,000 to 4,000 calls a month. Their team can only get to like half of them.
Yeah.
The system that they're using right now, they don't receive all their voicemails. So for them, voicemails and phone calls transitions into dollars.
Yeah.
Or missed opportunities of dollars. So we built an AI phone agent that takes over the phone lines and everything, natural language conversation, and everything. So as you're having these conversations, it's very impactful because, while it may sound still a little robotic, the beautiful thing they can immediately transition to is languages, dialect. So in South Florida, where, a good portion of people are not from here, you come from all parts of the world and things like that, it can very much transition immediately, understand. And so the thing that we built it on, you can book a consultation, you can ask very basic general questions and everything, and you can get your prescription refill and everything. So all those things on the prescription refill immediately gets sent to the doctor. He just hits an approval button and everything, and then it goes back to them, where it's shipped off to the pharmacy, where they can go pick up their prescription refill book a consultation, and so what I mean. And so that's one of the things and stuff that we built, and so for that, I mean, that right there is not only, time saving, cost saving, and everything, but also too, it makes it a beautiful experience, for the consumer, and everything, because they don't have to wait, 15 minutes in there for somebody to pick up,
Exactly.
or they never pick up. I call 6 times, you guys can get back to me, and as a neurologist, unfortunately, and fortunately for I, these can be life-changing things that they're calling about,
Yeah.
and stuff. And so that's one of the things, stuff we built when it comes to tools.
Yo, that's so fire. Like, you really got me thinking about us stepping into a time where whenever someone calls any company, they don't have to wait at all.
Facts.
Like, they can literally just call. I'm thinking about, like, whenever I call, like, even Chase, like calling the bank for something and having to wait. And it's cool that they have that feature that says, okay, you can get an automatic call back, whatever. That's nice. But sometimes it's like, no, I need to have this conversation. I need to raise my daily limit, my spending limit now. And hearing about what AI Impact does, and I know that's just one piece, but even that piece alone, I'm like, man, that would solve a large host of issues. Like you
Right.
mentioned, companies are losing money because they don't have enough people or they don't have enough people to be able to take those calls. And even if they get enough people, I mean, I could just go down a rabbit hole. I worked at call centers. I go down a rabbit hole of people not answering questions properly because there's only so much information someone can have versus AI having all of the information.
That also could
that's
be
there.
HIPAA compliant,
Yeah, true.
as
Yeah.
well, so it's a beautiful solution.
Yeah. So do y'all have a demo of the product?
That's internal for them. And everything.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but we showcase demos and everything. So with the combination of the workshops and stuff we do, we showcase a lot of these demos inside our workshops as well. So we just completed one of, we did a 4-week workshop series on basically AI being your assistant.
Yeah.
So the first one was focused on founders, second one was focused on education space, third week was focused on restaurant owners, fourth week was focused on nonprofit and governments.
Yeah.
So for example, we showcased an AI teacher assistant that we built where you can create multiple different homework assignments, tests, reading material per student based off each student's learning style.
Yeah.
So for example, we got to the point where if a teacher is teaching 5th grade, they want to teach a subject that may be boring to most, like history. With the combination of generative AI, when we built, we got it to the point where it will build and output 35 different comic books for the subject and use those for homework assignments.
That's crazy.
And we showcased that a couple weeks ago.
Yo, that's wild. Yo, oh man, you got my mind spinning. Like I want to go down so many rabbit holes with this. So, oh man. So, gosh, that is crazy.
I'll give you a personal one.
Yeah, please do. Please
Give
do.
you a personal one. So I'm right now, we're hopefully next week, we're going to launch a podcast focused on AI.
Yeah.
Having these conversations like this and everything, all focused on AI. What's today? Tuesday? Wednesday? Thursday?
Friday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's Sunday.
Wednesday night, I just finished a tool that I built where when we get done with the interview, be a live like interview on YouTube, once we hit done, the recording gets sent to our software. From there, it gets downloaded. We use a platform, an AI model from OpenAI called Whisper and everything. So AI is at a place now where it can see, it can hear, and something, and
heard
it can
about
speak.
that.
Right,
Yeah.
and everything. So it downloads Whisper. It downloads the video using Whisper. It translates the audio into text and everything. From there, we got a thing called AI agents and everything, which are basically roles or responsibilities. From there, it does 3 things and everything. It listens to what it heard, creates a summary. It can also right then immediately create your YouTube description of the video and stuff from there, hashtags and everything. It creates 3 blogs immediately from there.
Ooh.
And then it creates captions for social media, as you're going on as well.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be crazy. Especially like you starting your AI podcast using that software. Oh, the way you'll be able to scale using that's insane.
Yeah, I just finished like 3 days ago, whatever.
If you're interested in breaking into a 6-figure career in tech or scaling to over $500,000 in tech, then this video is for you. If not, then just swipe away. But I was able to break into the tech industry October 2021. And in my first year, I scaled to over $500,000 in tech. My second year, I was able to gross over $1 million. More importantly, I was able to freely help over 600 people break into six-figure tech careers as well and scale further in the industry. Now, the number one question I've been getting from people is, how was I able to do this? How was I able to make so much money? How was I able to also help as many people as I've been able to help? Well, aside from doing coaching calls and trying to spend a whole bunch of time helping people individually, I've decided to create the Tech Rich program, where I literally break every single thing down that I've done and what I've been doing to show others how they can break into tech faster or scale to over $500,000 plus within their first few years in the tech industry as well. All you gotta do, click the link in my bio. All the information's there. Check out the description. Message me if you have any other questions, and I'll see you on your journey scaling in tech. That is insane. Yeah. Man, that's wild. So look, we talking about this. So as an AI expert, what do you see are some of the best possibilities to come out of AI in the near future? But also on the other side, what do you believe are some of the possible worst case scenarios that could happen? We gotta go sci-fi real quick.
Yeah. Worst case scenarios, it's not going to kill us all. I hate that narrative. You know, the news is pushing a narrative because so they can grab attention.
Yeah.
You know, it's not going to replace us all, you know, things like that. You know, when you come to worst case scenarios and everything, all the data from artificial intelligence still comes from human beings and plus the internet.
Yeah.
Human beings can have biases.
Yeah.
You know, human beings could have certain viewpoints that's not beneficial to, you know, to the larger majority.
Yeah.
And so when you ingest that data, it just starts to repeat those habits, you know, or develop more outputs of such and everything. You know, so in those areas and everything, as a large, we have to do a better job, you know, to making sure that we remove a lot of those biases, you know, and companies stuff are doing so, you know, stuff now. But the benefit, man, this joint becomes endless.
Yeah.
I'll go back to you, make it personal for you. You're at a place right now where you're doing a lot of engagements and everything for individuals. You're doing a lot of podcasts, you know, you're doing like coaching, you know, interviewing, things like this. But you're still you.
Yeah.
Meaning an individual. Also within a 24-hour limit.
Yeah.
Everything. You, by yourself right now, have enough data from your YouTube, from the blog, anything you're reading, to create an AI version of yourself. What do you do with that? Now you allow one-to-many, your audience, to subscribe to your AI to ask questions.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm trying to break into tech sales or anything. Can you recommend some courses? So you've talked about it 1,000 times, but you know, people don't read or they don't want to scroll down far enough and everything. But now they have an extension to you available for them 24 hours.
Yeah.
Maybe they tap into this idea at 3 a.m. They have no way of reaching out to you directly and everything, but now they can do so and everything. And the more you interview and the more you do all that, it keeps learning.
Yeah.
You know, and now we're going back to, we're at a place right now where you can add sentiment to your AI, personality, tone, everything. You know, so, you know, it can understand of like, hey, you know, speak with confidence, add a little swagger to it.
Yeah.
You know, and everything. It understands a lot of those things. May have to give it a few examples and stuff like that, but this is where we're at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The benefit of that as well is that that's going to happen with everybody if they're smart. Everybody will have an AI assistant to them. So an AI assistant to book your flight, find your next doctor, date night, all the different things like that, you know, and stuff like that. But, you know, if we are thinking about being producers and stuff of it, people should definitely transition to figure out a way how to build an AI assistant, you know, of themselves and build on top of that. Actually, the workshop I'm doing tomorrow here for the conference is going to be on that.
Yeah. Bro, you know, one of the things I was thinking about, is I was a Lyft driver right before I got in tech. And I was thinking about how it once was a thing of the wealthy, like the super wealthy, to have a driver. But then it's like, okay, now any person, you know, you could have a net worth of $50.
Right.
You could order Uber and go somewhere. And so that's been me. It's plenty of times I only had $50 in my bank account, and I still was able to order an Uber to go somewhere.
Right, right.
You know, or we think about once upon a time, it was something of the super wealthy to have a chef in your home to cook a meal. Now you can DoorDash, Uber Eats. And it's like
It's a great analogy.
we've been inching closer and closer to where, just like what you're saying, where the everyday person can have a version of something that once was only for the super luxury. And thinking about you mentioning the fact of AI, everyone having an AI assistant, it's like a super wealthy person literally having an assistant or multiple assistants in their home, but instead it being AI assistants instead. And so do you believe that that is a potential direction we're heading to where obviously there's going to be a wealth gap. Obviously there's always going to be the super wealthy that are having certain things that are just for them.
Right.
But do you believe that we are going to reach a point to where it's almost going to be somewhat indistinguishable, to where it's like every person, you know, that has at least some type of income will be able to have certain AI tools that would give them a certain lifestyle and experience that would almost at one point in time been just for the super luxury?
100%. I mean, Meta is they're tapping on this. They're tapping on this now when they just announced the ability to do celebrity AI chatbots, so you can like argue with Tom Brady about the game, you know, and stuff like that. So they're tapping onto this and everything. They're in no universe where they switch over, you know, and actually may they be, but in the universe they will switch over and allow the consumer to do so, you know, to as well. And so like, absolutely. I mean, this changes everything.
Yeah.
You know, because now that mom and pop shop, you know, who's a dry cleaner that can't communicate to, you know, the younger generation, now has the ability to have an assistant to them where starts to do their marketing.
Yeah.
You know, and now they're back in business. You know, that can start today, you know, and stuff. And so we're 100% going there. You can have a homeless person that can in a way can have Coach Prime as their mentor, you know, just giving them motivation, it's like that, and get them out of that lifestyle.
It'd be tailored specifically to them.
Facts.
In their scenario.
And their learning style.
Sheesh.
Their tone style.
Yeah.
Once it starts to understand you, it starts to understand like you need more encouragement, you know, you need more hard, tough love.
Yeah.
Everything. It adapts and stuff to you.
Yeah.
This is the biggest aspect of chat. You know, this is what changes everything. You know, like with large language models and things like that, because that technology focuses on 3 areas. It focuses on the system, your ChatGPTs, your Midjourneys, your DALL-Es, and things like that. You know, it focuses on the assistant's ability to give it a role, you know, an assignment, you know, what you want to do. And then the second thing of it is the user.
Yeah.
You know, because we can come back and listen to this interview. I'm gonna gain some insight from it. You're gonna gain some insight from it. But our insight now creates 2 totally different possibilities: books, articles, thought processes, things like that. And so the ability to replicate that and everything in your pocket. That was a commercial, by the way. So yeah, y'all go ahead and reach out to
Yo, all right, so countless people have been asking how they can be guests on Tech is the New Black. And ever since we have grown to being the largest tech business and tech career platform in the world, those requests have gone through the roof. So for everybody that wants to be a guest on Tech is the New Black, here's all you have to do. Are you ready? Either head to techisthenewblack.com and fill out the guest request form, or click the link here to where you can go ahead and request to be a guest on our platform. That's it. It's that simple. But to let you know though, we are only looking for guests that are either founders of tech businesses, whether your entire business is tech-based or you have technology within your business that you're leveraging, or we are looking for tech influencers to be on our podcast. People that can show those how to break into tech, scale in tech, get to the tech bag many different ways. When it comes to founders, we want founders that are either hiring or you're looking to reach investors, or you're looking to get more brand awareness from being on Tech is the New Black. Make sure you head to our website or click the link in the description so that way you can be a guest on our show, and we'll see you later. Hey, so look, so this is something I was thinking about, and I thought this a lot. Like, so being in this industry, meeting so many different amazing people, and just specifically, I mean, we're at the Black Men in Tech Thrive Conference. So as a black man in tech to another black man in tech, when we met, what I was thinking about when I was listening to you talk, I was like, man, I was like, you know, I said, you sound like who the younger me wanted to become. But I felt like just in our community, like both from my family and then also the community, kind of stumped that out of me. And what I mean is in terms of like just how intellectual you are, how curious you are, how studious you are, all those different pieces. And I'm still those things, but I'm not as much of that as when I was younger I aspired to be. And what I was thinking of was like, man, you know, our community, especially our youth, young black men, because we're at the Black Men in Tech Conference, are oftentimes pushed and encouraged, whether within the community or sometimes even within our family, pushed and encouraged to go towards being an athlete or being some type of music artist, which no shade towards either one of those fields. But of course, we know the opportunity that's in the tech industry is much more broad. There's much more opportunity to not just be successful, but in many cases, be even more successful than those other fields that many of us are pushed into. What's some advice or just really perspective you have, something that you would share to young people that are watching this episode, but also to parents that have young people and their kids are the type where maybe they are tech curious? Like, how do you believe that we can like better communicate to our youth to aspire to be studious and to aspire to be into things that generally are considered nerdy, but are actually really, really dope? I like when he does this. He did this a lot on the panel, and every time he did this long pause on the panel last week, he came with some crazy heat.
Yeah. I'm that. Mom's had me at 14. Pops was in prison nearly half my life till I was about 28. Yeah. I was facing 10 years in prison as soon as I turned 18. Did my time and stuff in jail. Left high school with a 1.7 GPA. Not because I couldn't do it, because I was bored.
Yeah.
And there was nobody who can communicate me that. Mm-hmm. But I also knew deep down, him was always there.
Yeah.
Like I said, I always knew I wanted to be a software engineer.
Yeah.
I always knew I wanted to be a builder or some type. Now, those principles have transitioned to me being an artist, and right now engineering is just the canvas I get to work with.
Yeah.
The advice to parents and stuff is a lot of times, man, even at the age of 10, they already have that in them. Mm-hmm. They either have the will to do or the will not to be like. Meaning, I didn't necessarily have the will to do, but I had the will not to be like my dad.
Yeah.
That I'm still running towards.
Yeah.
And chasing and stuff like that. And so that is a forever journey. And a lot of times, man, unfortunately, I got a bunch of friends who wound up prison, stayed in prison. I was there, I was there, I had to stand in front of the judge and stuff like that. And so like, the direct advice, the shortest thing I can give, if a parent has the opportunity to watch this, just start there.
Yeah.
Watch this.
What would you say to a young person watching, where maybe they feel that, I mean, let's be real, and I don't want to limit it to the scenario, but I think of this scenario like a young kid living in the hood, and they look around and their environment is trash, and they don't have certain resources, certain relationships with family members, and they're thinking like, man, I'm interested in this tech stuff, but it's not encouraging the community. I don't see certain resources, and maybe they're starting to doubt themselves. Like, what would you say to them?
It was interesting because there's a lot of principles that come out of the hood. Grit, perseverance.
Yeah.
In the hood, you playing basketball, you're not allowed to just quit and just go home.
Yeah, no.
Bro, you gonna finish or we gonna fight?
Yeah.
That develops perseverance.
Yeah.
Consciously or unconsciously.
Yeah.
And anything. And so, same thing with the family. While the family may not have a pathway for a young one to get to where they are, they have instilled principles in you everything, to take on that battle yourself.
Yeah.
Do so.
Yeah.
Transparency is gonna be hard as hell.
Yeah, that's real.
You can get your ass whooped, and you're gonna fail consistently. But it's also what breeds the opportunity for you as you get here.
Yeah.
And everything. And so like embracing as uncomfortable and stuff as it may be, you know, don't look at it as a scenario, embrace it as a journey and everything. And even myself, I'm still trying to transition, you know, into that because it does get tough. You know, it does get hard, you know, and all this like that. And something like software engineering has allowed me to get used to failing. Code doesn't compile. Here's a bug. Here's my error. Shit, this is not working again.
Yeah.
Like, dang, you know, and everything. And so I've gotten now used to it to the point I'm at a place today where I have the audacity of a wealthy man. Meaning, you have the audacity. I'll give you an example. A couple weeks ago, somebody posted on my timeline an AI small business, you know, workshop and everything. And they were a panel discussion, all this like that. And I saw it and I was like, wait, hold on. Who's doing AI without me?
Come on.
In Miami, small business? So literally, I'm hot. I'm like, bro, like, what in the world? 15 minutes go by, something tell me to check your email. I am on a panel, I just forgot. I got booked weeks ago. But what I saw though, is now I have an expectation, you better book me.
Exactly.
Because now I'm also an individual, one of the few individuals, not only can I build it, but I can explain it.
Oh.
I can explain it, I can teach it.
Yeah.
I can showcase it. I can do all these things, you know, and and also having charisma and swag and everything too as well.
Yeah.
Because now I can show you how to build, you know, your own app and everything that's going to produce music and stuff for you, everything like the Drake AI song.
Yeah.
But I can also go very, very techie and show you how to, you know, increase your sales by, you know, bringing down certain solutions. Like, man, come on, bro. The audacity, you better book me.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a problem.